Well, good morning, guys. And before we talk about where we parked up last night, something's going to have to change. Yeah, the North Coast 500.
I thought you meant it about me for a minute. I was all worried.
Yeah, breaking up live on air. It's not enjoyable. You know, we're back to that driving. You know, there's a couple of things. One, and again, I've said this before, you know, we're part of the problem because we're one of the convoy.
But I think some of the issue is that there's nowhere to pull off and just stop.
Yeah.
So you have to drive for quite a few miles before there's any sort of pull-in.
Yeah.
So everybody is stopping at exactly the same place. I think they need to provide a few more areas, a few more facilities like loos and things.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, this has been one of the biggest problems they didn't think out. And this is no complaints on the local places, but you know, I think all the local councils and stuff had the North Coast 500 tourist route marketing boohickey sort of thrust upon them without actually thinking about the infrastructure. And we're certainly seeing that firsthand. As Nicola said, the whole having to drive, you know, you're driving by some beautiful areas, but there's literally nowhere to pull in. So you end up just, because everyone's driving sort of that little bit slower, you end up getting bunched up. And
I'm
just,
sure that's frustrating for the locals as well,
Yeah,
who are trying to
completely.
go about their business and everything.
completely. So yeah, we're gonna, in the next couple of days, because obviously we've got another couple of weeks on this sort of northwest section of it before we go into Fort William and meet up with friends. We're gonna, tomorrow we head into Ullapool to have a bit of a chore day, and I'm gonna sort of make a bit of a different plan, hopefully getting us off, because as we showed sort of yesterday, being able to get off the or in last week's video it would have been being able to get off the main route, even just 10-15 miles, literally you see no one.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But I think the message at the moment, until things change, is come out of season.
Yeah.
Just try, if you can. I know not everyone's jobs allow it, but if you can come out of main holiday season, it will probably make a big difference.
yeah. Or do it on a bike, or run it, or walk it, because I think that way then you can slow down and do it, and that's what was going through my head yesterday. So this would be a great thing to do on a bike. Or
I'm going, yeah, there's no way I'd do it.
I know. I heard her saying yeah, and I was like, she so doesn't mean
Yeah,
that.
you do it on a bike.
Yeah,
I'm not,
and then
but
we'll stay in
you do it.
bothies, eh? Anyway, so where we stayed last night, so that we came down sort of into Durness, and yeah, lovely little area, beautiful sort of coastal views. A little bit windy last night. There was one other sort of 4x4 parked over the way, so, and it just puts us in sort of good shooting distance of a couple of things that we want to go see today. But yeah, I think today is going to be another slightly frustrating. Not that many miles to do today, because where I kind of want to hopefully shoot tonight from a photographic point of view is only 10 miles up the road, and then I think, you know, where we're going to stay is not that much further, and then tomorrow it's down into Durness to finally get gas. Ullapool.
Oh, I have to correct him. He never gets it right. That's a problem.
But you don't really care. I could have said down into Widgymigoo.
Yeah, but you're going to say get gas, and they might think there's gas in Durness, and it's
In-
not. It's
I bet-
Ullapool.
I bet you you're seeing a domestic going on here. Yeah, there's been a little bit of tension this morning. So, yeah, the whole correction thing, really, when it doesn't actually need to be
Yeah, it
corrected.
does, because you've got to get the facts right for people. Anyway.
Says Nicola and her interesting facts that probably
Which are
aren't
all
true.
true.
Mhm.
They're all true.
Anyway, yeah, so gonna head down into Ullapool tomorrow and grab some gas. But we've actually managed to sneak in even a hot meal last night. We managed to cook some pasta. So and we're still in one
might
bar.
even get another hot meal tonight. You never
Yeah,
know.
so-
Yeah.
Anyway, with all that off our chest, we're off to Smooth Cave now, actually, and then sort of very slowly just bimble along the Causeway Coast. Causeway Coast? I'm going to correct myself there. The Northwest 500.
No, that's you're thinking
That's a
about the
motorbike
Northwest
race.
200.
The North Coast 500.
I think you need another coffee. It's usually me for a cup of tea like this.
I need something stronger than a coffee. Catch up in a bit. I don't say this lightly, but probably the best croissant I have ever eaten in my life.
So I just went for a walk up to the first peak up there, and you can't even hardly stand up. It's horrific.
And now where are we?
In a very unstable bus shelter, so I think I might head back to the van.
So that is reminiscent of the windy experiences that we had last year. Yeah, so we're up at the little ferry port that you get across to Cape Wrath. Sadly, as you've seen, it's not running today, obvious because of the weather. There's a little bothy on out there that you can go and visit. They actually do round trips in a little minibus as well if you don't fancy walking. I think it's about 7 miles out to the bothy, but that's for a later adventure, I think, with one of my buddies who likes to stay at bothies. But the wind is gusting sort of 30 mile an hour at the moment. It's meant to get up to sustained 30 mile an hour, gusting 50 mile an hour later on. So obviously we start to think of where are we going to stay tonight. And I think no matter where we stay tonight, I think it's going to be a little bit blowy. Looks like the wind is going to die down about sort of 2 a.m. or so, but I think up until that point it'll be batting down the hatches. But this is, to me, this is how you experience a location like this. Blue sky, nah, blue sky's for eating ice cream. This is what you do. You get out and get your head blown off. So wonderful. Oh, hang on.
The problem is we've run out of food, so we're stuck here without treats, which is never a good thing.
Very bad planning. However, there is a spar about a mile up the way, so don't worry, we won't starve. So guys, remember I said earlier about we might be able to squeeze one more meal in, hot meal in, with the bar of gas. Well, we still have the bar of gas, but the little shop we went to didn't have a lot of stuff that you could cook easily on the hob. I drew the line at super noodles after my West Highland Way super noodle extravaganza. However, we've upped it. I know how to show a girl a good time. Pot noodles. And pot noodle, keen pot noodle at that. Haven't had one of these in years. Let's do it. Well, good morning guys. Saturday morning, and for once we're not actually in spandex, going for a run. Yesterday was chore day, lots going on down in Ullapool. We also booked an appointment with VW over in Inverness, which gives us about 10 days to explore this area. Obviously we came down yesterday to get gas, mission accomplished. And we drove out of Ullapool last night, just really looking for somewhere to stop up, and I realised we were quite close to the parking for Stack Polly, which is quite a prominent and famous hill here in Scotland. So that's what we're going to do now. Head up and around Stack Polly. Should only take hopefully 2 to 3 hours, so again it should be fine. It's not too bad. A few midges about, but hopefully as we climb those will disappear.
Oh, I'm kind of migraine-ish today, so I'm hoping it's going to hold off now. I've taken some pills, but not quite functioning on full. Not sure I ever do function on full, but
Let's do it. Well guys, this has been rather nice. We've been up to the top, as you've seen. Rather beautiful, isn't it?
absolutely gorgeous.
Right,
Yeah.
Sullivan, Culmeg, yeah. Culmore, out into the Ascent Wilderness. If you're into your outdoors, it just is an absolute playground, and we're hopefully going to climb some of these as well, get up them as well. So
I think we need more food though to do it. I'm
We
feeling
do.
very hungry again.
we do. It's time to go back for second breakfast, I think.
I think it'll be lunch by the time we get back actually.
Second breakfast, stroke lunch.
Brunch.
Right. Let's head back down again.
Unfortunately my migraine's not gone, so Don't know what to do about that. Maybe more cake.
Feed it.
Or maybe that's why I have a migraine.
Yeah.
Too much cake.
It's a fine balance. Right, let's get ourselves back down again because I'm sure someone else will want to be fed as well. Stack Polly.
It's beautiful.
Really good to do. A little bit boggy, sort of around the lower regions, but generally a good path up around. So, yeah. And I may, on the way back down through again in about a week's time, come back here if we're going to get any way decent sort of light in the evening. So, good stuff.
Beautiful.
Let's do it. Well guys, that's us back down again at the van. Again, this was suitably chilled out. So that took us, for those of you thinking of doing the Stack Polly route, that took us, well, it's an hour up, an hour down, and then we stayed up there for probably an hour or for 45 minutes or so. If you are doing it, while it is a circuit path, if you take the right hand path, that seems to be the better path all the way up. The left hand path was rather boggy initially, so, but yeah, and now it's time for a coffee and some lunch. Catch up in a bit. Right guys, very quick because the batteries died in the mic and we're steaming up here. But after the pot noodles, it's time for spicy meatballs. Don't they look fabulous? We're parked up not too far away from where we parked up last night after our climb over Stack Polly. Hang on. There you go. So yeah, we're just gonna, it's a bit mizzly outside, lots of midges again. So we're just gonna eat some meatballs, watch something on the telly, and tomorrow's meant to be a really nice day. But we'll get to show you that in next week's video. Catch up next week. Oh, there are loads of pull-in places on the North Coast 500 when you start coming south on the west side. So apologies for making you think that there wasn't. Meatballs. Let's do it.